Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Qualcomm Chairman of the Board, Mark McLaughlin.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Qualcomm's 2023 Annual Meeting of Stockholders. We're happy to be holding this meeting in person, and we'd like to acknowledge all those watching online as well. Before I call the meeting to order, I'd like to introduce the other members of the board who are with us this morning or joining via webcast. Sylvia Acevedo, Mark Fields, Jeff Henderson, Greg Johnson, Ann Livermore, Jamie Miller, Irene Rosenfeld, Neil Smith, Jean-Pascal Turcois, and Tony Vincenquera. And I would also like to introduce our executives who are with us this morning. Cristiano Amon, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Cristiano is also a director on the board. Akash Palkhiwala, our Chief Financial Officer. Ann Chaplin, our General Counsel and Corporate Secretary. Alex Rogers, President, QTL and Global Affairs. Heather Ace, Chief Human Resources Officer. Dr. Jim Thompson, Chief Technology Officer. And Jim Cathey, our Chief Commercial Officer. Finally, I'd like to also acknowledge Dr. Erwin Jacobs, who is in attendance today. Thank you, sir, for being with us. In addition, with us is Bob Barrett of the accounting firm of PricewaterhouseCoopers, LLP, the company's independent public accountants. Mr. Barrett will be available to answer any questions concerning PricewaterhouseCoopers and its services to the company. Please note that we will post both a replay and a transcript of this meeting on our website following the meeting. Qualcomm's 2023 Annual Meeting of Stockholders will now come to order. I will act as the chair of this meeting, and Ann Chaplin will act as our secretary. After the business portion of this meeting, Cristiano will give a business update, and the executive team will be available to take questions. The polls are open. Stockholders who have already voted, either by mail, the internet, or telephone, need not vote today unless you wish to change your vote. Ballots are available to anyone who did not pick one up at the registration table and would like one. Please raise your hand at this time if you would like a ballot. Anyone? Okay, great. At this meeting is a complete list of stockholders of record of the company's common stock on January 9th, 2023, which is the record date for this meeting. And I also have an affidavit certifying that on January 19th, 2023, a notice of the 2023 Annual Meeting of Stockholders was distributed to stockholders of record as of the close of business on the record date. I've appointed Mr. Peter Deskovich to act as the Inspector of Election for this meeting. Mr. Deskovich has taken and subscribed to the customary oath of office to execute his duties with strict impartiality. The inspector's function is to decide upon the qualification of voters, to accept their votes, and when balloting is complete, to tally the final votes. Mr. Deskovich is also on the line with us today. And I have been informed by the Inspector of Election that at least a majority of the company's outstanding shares of common stock are present in person or by proxy. This constitutes a quorum for the transaction of business. Since the requirements for calling this meeting have been duly observed, and there are represented here more than the necessary number of shares of the outstanding common stock of the company to constitute a quorum, I hereby declare this meeting to be duly constituted for the transaction of all business. The formal business of this meeting is listed in the notice of annual meeting and proxy statement that was provided to stockholders. There are 4 proposals to be considered by stockholders at this meeting, and I will now place each of these proposals before the meeting. The first item of business is proposal number 1, which is the election of 12 directors to serve until next year's annual meeting of stockholders. The board has nominated the following persons for election as directors of the company and recommends that the stockholders vote for each nominee. Those are Sylvia Acevedo, Cristiano Amon, Mark Fields, Jeff Henderson, Greg Johnson, Ann Livermore, Mark McLaughlin, Jamie Miller, Irene Rosenfeld, Neil Smith, Jean-Pascal Turcois, and Tony Vincenquera. These nominations need no second. Since no other director nominations were received prior to the deadline specified in our bylaws and stated in last year's proxy materials, The nominations are now closed. The next item of business is proposal number 2, the ratification of the selection of PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP as the company's independent public accountants for a fiscal year ending September 24th, 2023. And the board recommends that stockholders vote for this proposal. And the next item of business is proposal number 3, which asks stockholders to approve the Qualcomm Incorporated 2023 Long-Term Incentive Plan described in the proxy, and the board recommends that the stockholders vote for this proposal. And finally, proposal number 4, which asks stockholders to adopt the resolution described in the proxy statement to approve the compensation of the company's named executive officers on a non-binding advisory basis. And the board recommends that the stockholders vote for this proposal. That concludes the proposals for today's meeting. Are there any questions on any of these proposals? If you wish to vote by ballot on these matters, please hold up your ballot at this time so that an usher may collect it. Got anybody going to collect them? Hang on a second, here we go. Okay, looks like we have all the ballots. Thank you. I now declare the polls closed. The Inspector of Election has informed me that based on preliminary count of the proxies received, that all nominees for directors have been elected. The selection of PricewaterhouseCoopers as the company's independent public accountants for a fiscal year ending September 24th, 2023 was ratified. The company's 2023 long-term incentive plan has been approved, and the stockholder advisory vote of the compensation of the company's named executive officers has been approved. The final voting results will be published on our website and reported within 4 business days on a Form 8-K, which will be filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission. This ends the formal business of our meeting. On behalf of Qualcomm's Board of Directors and Executive Team, we wish to thank you for your continued support of Qualcomm. Cristiano will now provide a brief business overview, after which we'll have a question and answer session, and then this meeting will conclude. Any stockholder with questions should form a line at the microphones in the aisles after Cristiano's presentation. And in fairness to all the stockholders, you'll be permitted up to 2 minutes for your questions or comments. If you have a question that we are not able to address, please contact our investor relations group. Please note that we may make forward-looking statements during the presentation or the question and answer session regarding future events or results of the company. Actual events or results may differ materially from those in the forward-looking statements. Please refer to the risk factors section of the company's most recent quarterly report on Form 10-Q for a description of important factors that could cause actual items or results to differ materially from those in the forward-looking statements. And now I'd like to turn the meeting over to Cristiano. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the annual meeting of stockholders, also those that are watching us online. We are very excited about the future of Qualcomm, and we continue to believe that the best of Qualcomm is yet to come. We are executing on our strategy where beyond connecting everyone, we have an opportunity to connect everything and make everything intelligently connected. The company is also changing from a communications company to a connected processor and intelligence company for the intelligent edge. That is a great opportunity to expand our addressable market, and it's an opportunity to continue to change Qualcomm by innovation and becoming this great innovation engine, not only for the wireless industry, but for advanced artificial intelligence and processor industry. Our role is to bring data processing and intelligence to the edge, enabling cloud edge convergency. We're quickly moving to a world where everything is connected to the cloud 100% of the time. There's digital twins of everything. And Qualcomm will play a role connecting and make those devices intelligent outside the data center. And that's the opportunity for us. We are in a unique position with our One Technology roadmap. The roadmap that we developed for mobile enable the company to be not only a leader in wireless communication. One of the things that is probably not well known from Qualcomm, besides being the first with every cellular technology, we also the #1 in the world with Wi-Fi technologies. But we also had developed a number of computing capabilities as our most beloved device, the smartphone, became one of the most important computers in the world as well as development platform. And we're taking that capability to every other industry. We're in a unique position that the 3 pillars of our technology, which is everything wireless communication, high performance, low power compute, and artificial intelligence can be taken to every industry. We can scale for a phone all the way to an autonomous car and to a number of different industrial applications. And as our roadmap enables those capabilities, Qualcomm Business is expanding to all of those different markets, from handsets to automotive, to the broader Internet of Things across consumer networking, and participating in the next industrial revolution that is happening as digital transformation is now part of every enterprise. We will always remain the company that sets the pace of innovation in wireless. And we continue to define a new standard for smartphones. You know, the latest chipset from Qualcomm, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, has been the first in the world with a number of different technologies, including the ability to integrate artificial intelligence in every single capability of the chipset. Our modem is intelligent. It learns about yourself, about how to use it. It gets better over time. Our camera is intelligent, and we have one of the largest neural processor unit for AI into a smartphone. An example of that was recently demonstrated at the Mobile World Congress. Our Stable Diffusion demo was the most popular demo at MWC. And what it's doing is showing that we can run what is called a large language model of artificial intelligence with over 1 billion parameters into the smartphone, in the palm of your hand. That creates an incredible opportunities. I'm sure many of you have heard about the applications of those large language models of AI, such as ChatGPT. And we have the ability to run this locally into your smartphone as well into other devices as well. I also wanted to highlight that Snapdragon is really becoming synonymous with flagship smartphone. I cannot pick a better example to describe that to you, which is when Samsung, in their Galaxy product line, heavily advertised Snapdragon as one of the key capabilities of the device. The Snapdragon continues to expand within the ecosystem. We have 65 designs today across every single flagship in the Android operating system. And we'll continue to create opportunities for Qualcomm, especially as we look of the next innovation cycle beyond 5G. As we had said, in the early days of 5G, 5G will democratize artificial intelligence and bring that to a scale. And I think we started to demonstrate that the next big upgrade cycle of smartphones is going to be the ability to run, complex artificial intelligence models into your device. I also want to highlight what Qualcomm is doing in the automotive business. The automotive business has been one of the brightest spots of our company expansion and diversification. And Qualcomm really became one of the leading providers of technology to the automotive industry. Car companies are asked two things of their investors. First question, are you electrical? The second question is, are you digital? And that's where we found ourselves really getting support from the industry because we developed something very unique. The Snapdragon Digital Chassis is really a digital platform for the car that enables the car to be connected to the cloud 100% of the time. It enables a digital cockpit experience, including new services for the automakers. It enables an ADAS, assisted driving, and autonomy platform. We have over 30 billion design win pipeline, and I think we're just at the beginning of a very significant opportunity. At this Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas at the beginning of the year, we demonstrated what is the future of the automotive industry. For the first time, Qualcomm unveiled a concept car. It got a number of awards within CES by demonstrating the potential of the Snapdragon Digital Chassis as we transform the automotive industry with our partners. As I said before, this is one of the great examples of what I said earlier, the ability of the Qualcomm technology to scale to all of those other industries, and with that, to create growth and diversification opportunities for the company. Another thing that is very unique to Qualcomm, and those that have been with the company for a long time know what we have done in the mobile industry. The company creates ecosystems. What we have done with technologies such as CDMA and WCDMA, and then LTE for 4G and 5G, we build an open horizontal platform, and we create an ecosystem working with every operator in the world, every device OEM in the world, every infrastructure vendor. This is what the company do, and we're doing exactly the same thing in those other markets. A great example of that is now the ecosystems of partners that we have in the automotive industry. We're working with virtually every global brand as they go through the process of digital transformation of this industry. But we're not staying only in the automotive industry. We have one of the largest opportunity as this technology continue to go to beyond phones to other devices. And the IoT opportunity is one of the largest addressable market for the company, and we are operating in three areas. One is in the consumer IoT, and we put in the category of consumer IoT next generation PCs. There is a full convergence of mobile and PCs. PCs became a communication device. I think many of you, as you use your PC today for Teams and the Zooms type of collaboration tools, that's one of the use cases. And that convergence created an opportunity for Qualcomm to be a supplier of technology for next generation PCs. We're the chosen partner of Microsoft to transition Windows 11 into an ARM instruction set and a mobile architecture, and we're very excited about that opportunity for Qualcomm. We also been working with a very important trend. We have over 10 years of research in the upcoming merger of physical and digital spaces. We're still at the very beginning of the opportunity with virtual reality, mixed reality, and augmented reality, and especially as we are going to have companion glasses, and in the future, it could become the next computing platform as big as smartphones. Edge networking, we see an incredible opportunity for Qualcomm. Not only continue to be the supplier of choice for Wi-Fi access points, but now for the first time, a wireless technology such as 5G can augment fiber optics. There is really no more role once you build a gigabit society for copper, and the two options for you to build a broadband is fiber and 5G. And 5G is creating an incredible opportunity for Qualcomm in all markets. For developed markets, all the way to emerging markets, they are now going to use 5G technology to bridge the digital divide. And the last segment is industrial. As many industries are transforming themselves with technology, it creates an opportunity for Qualcomm at many verticals, from retail to manufacturing to energy to oil and gas. And as companies are looking to make commitments to reduce energy consumption, technologies provided by Qualcomm that provide high performance, efficient computing becomes essential. And we're very excited about the opportunity of growing in all of those markets with Qualcomm innovation. As I mentioned before, both the PC and the XR opportunities can create significant inflection points for the companies. The PC business and the XR business could become as big of smartphones. And the opportunity for Qualcomm that had invested over a decade in research is right in front of us, and we think at the very beginning of a long trajectory of innovation and growth. On the edge networking, I want to highlight that one of the most valuable companies in the telecom sector right now, when you think about market cap, has been T-Mobile USA, and one of the fastest growing business for them is to provide home broadband using 5G. That's a significant opportunity for Qualcomm. We're excited about what's happening in India. There is a 5G auction in India, and there is an ambition plan for some of the operators to connect 100 million households using 5G millimeter wave technology over a number of years. It's easy to see, how that can become a significant opportunity for the company. And in the industrial IoT, the company is changing as we are significantly expanding the number of customers as we build platforms that become relevant for every industry. I'll provide an example. When we're thinking about Qualcomm in the mobile business, I could count our customers in two hands. Just on the industrial IoT, the number of Qualcomm customers now is more than 16,000. And it really shows the diversification of the company and how the company is becoming so much relevant to many other industries. And that opportunity is also changing Qualcomm. Last week, we announced the Qualcomm Aware platform. It's the first time that we're developing a cloud-based solution that connect all of our chips and enable many industries to develop applications for our chips directly into the cloud. We received the endorsement of many enterprise companies, from Microsoft to Salesforce and to many others, as this has been seen as a significant opportunity to scale industrial IoT and at the same time create a software as a service business opportunity for Qualcomm. As I get to the end of my presentation, I just want to highlight the fiscal 22 results of the company. We're very proud of how the company had performed in fiscal 22. Our non-GAAP revenue growth year over year, it was in the order of 32%. And what's really exciting is when we look at some of the metrics across our business. 32% revenues, 47% earnings before tax, and 47% EPS. And when you look at the individual segments of Qualcomm, you can see the handsets grew 49%. Handset is a very mature market. It goes up and down with the macroeconomic indicators. And a significant event for Qualcomm is actually to gain share at Samsung, being the platform of choice for the Galaxy product line globally. Automotive was growing at 41%, and the IoT segment at 37%. We also will continue to be very focused on returning capital to stockholders. We continue to grow dividends, and we have announced this week a dividend growth of 7%, and we will continue to returning the majority of capital to stockholders. Lastly, the company has made a lot of progress within ESG, has also been recognized by the indirect activity that we provide to many industries. Our technologies have a significant impact in sustainability. As I get to the end of my presentation, I just wanted to summarize. As I said, we're in the very beginning of one of the largest opportunities in our history. Industry trends, such as convergence of mobile and PC, the merging of physical digital spaces, digital transformation of enterprises, and artificial intelligence, create vectors of growth and point to Qualcomm innovation and products. Demand for technology is now happening at virtually every industry. We have the ability to scale to that industry with our technology roadmap, and we're really focused on industries and customers that will drive stable revenue and growth for the company and for its shareholders. Thank you so much for listening to the presentation, and now we're going to be opening for questions. Thank you very much. All right, we can get started. Thank you.
Yes, the Biden administration has come out against share buybacks. So I wanted to inquire, what are your feelings about share buybacks and dividends in terms of providing shareholder value?
Akash, you want to answer the question?
Sure. So as we've previously stated, our goal is to return most of our free cash flow to shareholders. And it's been a combination of dividends and share buybacks. And so we still think that's the right strategy for the company. It's a commitment we've made to the investors, and we plan to execute to it.
Thank you for your question.
Good morning. Last year, I asked whether we have outlets in Ukraine. This year, I'm wondering if we have offices, outlets in Russia.
We don't have an office in Russia. I think we do have some employees in Ukraine. Some of it relocated to different locations, but there are a very small number of employees. But we don't have any presence in Russia. Maybe Heather, anything you'd like to add?
No, as of last year, we had a small office, and we've been in the process of closing that office. So Cristiano's correct.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I don't think my mic was on. I had just said that last year at this time, we had a small office. At this point in time this year, we've been closing that office. So we had a couple employees in the Ukraine, and we've relocated the rest to a different country, just agreeing with what Cristiano said.
Thank you.
Good morning. I have a couple of questions. First question is this. We know that Apple is hell-bent on using their own product in lieu of ours. I've heard that they've tried and have been unsuccessful at one point. We understand next year they plan to use their own product. My question is this. Over the years, what are the chances that our product will be so advanced that when they do have a product that works with their 5G, it won't be able to compete with our product?
Okay, so let me take that. There are a number of questions there. Let me take the first one. As of this moment, we are not planning to support provide our modem to the iPhone launching in 24. We did say 2 earnings calls ago that we expect our modem to be in the iPhone launching in 23, and we have no plans at this moment for 24. The second part of our question is, modem technology and cellular technology is one of the company's core competencies. And we have been developing this technology and being first with every new feature at every new standard. It is also even more interesting because 5G is no longer unique to mobile phones. There are things driving the 5G standard for applications in automotive and industrial and many other markets. So Qualcomm will be always the company setting the pace of innovation in cellular modems. If that is relevant for phones, there's always going to be room for Qualcomm.
Okay, so my second question is this. I know we're expanding in other areas, diversification, automotive, Internet of Things. Right now, from what I've seen, the revenue profit from, let's say, automotive or Internet of Things is minuscule compared to what we get from the phones. My question is, what do you anticipate in the next 3 to 5 years as to the percent of profit income we'll get from the diversification, something like the automotive or Internet of Things, as compared to what we get from the phones?
Yes, no minuscule. Just in the last quarter, we reported that the non-handset revenue was representing 27% of total revenues for QCT. And I think that if you look at some of the growth rates, we actually grew just on last quarter, regardless of the current macroeconomic situation, 58% on automotive. So if you look at the growth rates, our goal is over the next several years, that will represent a much larger percent of the total Qualcomm revenue and earnings.
I mean, do you have an estimate as to what percent, as compared to what we're getting now from phones, that we would expect to get from, let's say, automotive?
Well, look, in automotive, one of the things we said is the opportunity for Qualcomm is the multiple thousands of dollars per car of silicon content. The automotive also, if you look at the 30 billion pipeline of contracted backlog, you should expect as new cars launch that revenue continue to grow. We're not making forward-looking projections about what percentage of those new markets will represent over time, other than what we said in our 2021 Investor Day.
Okay, thank you.
Unfortunately, all good things can be subverted for evil. And I was wondering what provision our company is making to prevent terroristic use of our products. Is there any possibility to prevent evil?
Thank you for your question. We always believe at Qualcomm that the technology we develop changed the world, and it can be a force for good. One of the things that are becoming very important right now, and that's what set Qualcomm apart from the other companies, is as everything becomes digital, everything is connected, the surface area for cybersecurity becomes significantly larger. And one of the key investments we have is in security. We have been recognized by many of our customers as having some of the secure platforms, and including some of the announcements we made just a couple weeks ago about industrial IoT. We have something that is called Aware Signature that we can attest the integrity of the software that runs on our platform. So that will continue to be an area of focus and actually an area of differentiation for the company. Any other questions? Thank you very much all for coming. Thank you for the support of the company, and I hope to see you all next year. Thank you.